I want to welcome everybody to Ion Piscataway, and we're fortunate enough to stop by in studio here with Jennifer Schneider from Solar Landscape. And you're probably saying, what is this lady doing on the set with the mayor here? What does she have to say here? And I don't know if everybody have seen a couple weeks ago, we were fortunate enough, Senator Smith and several of the council members were to stop by a ribbon cutting ceremony out in the parking lot of Cole Art on Corporate Place in Piscataway to inaugurate a plug-in of all the solar field on top of the building. And Solar Landscape was there and represented that there is a new program out there that residents can take advantage of. And a lot of it had to do with Senator Smith sponsoring a bill several years ago, which was signed into law by Governor Murphy and basically the Board of Public Utilities, which governs things having to do with solar everything and anything dealing with energy in the state of New Jersey. They promulgated the rules, and we're going to talk about that, how that is to benefit residents out there who can apply. So I'm going to ask a series of questions, and hopefully Jennifer will be able to answer it.
Yes.
If not, we'll go to the people who need to. So what can you tell us about Piscataway Community Solar Project? What is this all about, and what does it mean to residents here in Piscataway?
Absolutely. So as you mentioned, it's a new program regulated by the Board of Public Utilities. So the Piscataway project is a project that was approved by the Board of Public Utilities to be in the Community Solar Program. So the project is hosted by Sudler Companies and supported by the building's tenant, Cole Art Americas. And it was installed and is owned and operated by Solar Landscape. So it's local clean energy generation that can power the community. So it means that all households can benefit.
So not every company can sign on to this program, that they have to be accepted in by the Board of Public Utilities.
Yes. So this was approved during the pilot year 2 program, and then the state is going to be opening an application this year likely for additional projects. But you have to be selected as a project through the program, which is the Board of Public Utilities.
So in essence, like Cole Art was one of the guinea pigs for the program, right? For lack of a better word, it was an experiment out there. And so who is Solar Landscape? Mm-hmm. I mean, you're the company that's installing on top of the roofs?
Yes. So we're installing them, we're designing them, we're installing them, and we're helping lead community outreach. So Solar Landscape is actually one of the nation's leading community solar companies, and we're based in Asbury Park. With the New Jersey Community Solar Program, our projects are powering about 11,000 households, and our founders actually grew up in the area, so we're really excited to be helping bring this benefit. So New Jersey based? Yes, we're New Jersey based.
Okay. So what is the concept of the community solar, and why is that so exciting why should residents be excited? Not just in Piscataway, mm-hmm. but from across the state.
Absolutely. It's so exciting because it's accessible to everyone finally. Historically, only people that owned their homes and their roofs were suitable for solar and they could afford to put solar on their homes were able to benefit. Now everyone, renters, folks living in condos, apartments, are all able to benefit. But most importantly, it's 51% of project capacity is reserved for low to moderate income residents.
Well, so if you've ever seen somebody walking down your neighborhood with an iPad and looking at your house, a lot of that has to be solar, because I know almost every month somebody will knock on my door of my house saying, hey, because my house faces due south. There's no obstructions. I live across the street from the cemetery. And, they're like, oh, that would be great to put solar in, which I would love to do. However, I still have to replace my roof yet. Mm. But, with that being said, that is sort of like the same concept that you were saying, is that mostly it was people who had owned their own houses or structures throughout the state were able to benefit from tax credits, or companies coming to put solar, that they would get a reduced rate for solar off their PSE&G or JCP&L bill. But in this case, when Senator Smith, if I remember, put the verbiage in there that apartment dwellers historically would not be able to take advantage of this, and now they're able to take advantage of it because in a lot of cases they're paying for their own energy bills, right? They get a separate bill, depending upon how it's set up in their lease with their landlord. So this is actually a very good concept now, where everybody, no matter where you live, if you're paying some type of energy bill, you have an opportunity to take advantage of this.
Exactly. As long as you're a PSE&G customer, you can participate. So whether you rent or own your home, you're able to participate. Now, the Piscataway project in particular, it's 1.7 megawatts, which is equivalent to about 300 households that can be powered in the community. So as long as you're a PSE&G customer, you can enroll. But again, as you mentioned, Senator Smith in New Jersey had a really important part of the program, which was to benefit low to moderate income households the most. So there's more space available for low to moderate income households.
50% of that 300 homes hypothetically has to deal with low to moderate income.
Yes, so the majority of space available on the Piscataway project in particular is just reserved. The amount left is for income eligible households.
Okay, so that's who is eligible to sign up for that? I mean, so they would have to contact your office, your company. Now, how does that work? Or is it going through the BPU?
The definition of low to moderate income is
it's set up through the state.
Yes, outlined by the state. So it's based on income levels. So I actually brought it with me so I could tell folks who are listening right now. So for the fiscal year 2023, the state designates low to moderate income as a one-person household. You would have to make less than $66,250, and then that increases on a scale. So a two-person household, less than $75,750, et cetera.
So in essence, you have a lot of particularly senior citizens who may be just living off of Social Security and or maybe partial pension or some annuities or whatever. More than likely, they're going to qualify.
Yes, absolutely. A lot of seniors throughout the state have signed on to our projects.
Yeah, which is good. So, all right. So, do they have to switch utility providers in order to participate?
Nope. They stay a PSE&G customer.
Okay. So, am I still connected to the grid as a community solar subscriber?
Yes, absolutely. Nothing changes. You're a PSE&G customer. You're still connected to the same grid, getting the same power through the lines you see on the street. The only difference is that you will now have a savings on the energy that's produced by the solar system at the Kohler building.
Now, I'm just asking devil's advocate question here, because this is new to Piscataway in a sense, because we're sort of a guinea pig here. Will there be a different on the PSE&G bill? Will the residents see their savings on the bill saying, "All right, this is through community solar"?
Yes,
right,
they will see it on their detailed community PSE&G
so it'll be a
bill.
line item on the bill saying this is the dollar number that you saved through being on the program.
Yes, and then for the Piscataway project in particular, we've partnered with a third-party billing company called Arcadia, where they'll consolidate and be able to automatically pay your PSE&G bill and pay for the community solar credit, the discounted credit.
So all right. So run that. I don't want to get too quick. That's a little complicated. So I want to explain so people understand. So people, when the PSE&G bill, if they signed on to the program, so they'll still get the PSE&G bill to their house or to their apartment.
So for the community solar program right now,
if they
you have to enroll online, and you have to sign up you have to link your PSE&G account.
Okay, so you have to do a link your account. Once you're accepted into the program, your account would have to be linked to the community solar.
Yes, your PSE&G account. When you go to solarlandscape.com and you enter the PWAY25 invite code and your zip code, you'll then enter your PSE&G login credentials, and then Arcadia will automatically pay the entirety of your PSE&G bill minus the community solar credit. So it's all in one place.
Oh, so in other words, now where are the checks that they have to pay their monthly bill? Who would the check go to?
Through Arcadia, but with the current program, you have to pay automatically online with Arcadia. and that would be automatically through your checking account or your credit card. So for
all right,
folks that
so basically, it'll be a third-party billing.
Yes.
That would take care of your PSE&G bill.
Yes.
And you'll see a reflection of the credit that you've gotten through the solar there, but the third party's paying actually your PSE&G bill.
Correct, so that it's all consolidated into one place. Essentially, the state doesn't require the utilities right now to offer consolidated billing, where
that's where part of the problem is.
Right. So
now.
In the draft rules from the state, they're likely going to require this be implemented in the next year or two. But for now, we've partnered with Arcadia to help customers have the consolidated experience.
So now, if somebody has like frequently asked questions, you have the Community Solar website, and you could tell the website what's the website address.
I believe additional information is going to be going
We're
on the
going to put that
Piscataway
up
Township
on our website.
But for now you can go to solarlandscape.com,
Okay.
and we have a frequently asked questions portion there as well.
So the end game is that until the state comes up with additional regulations to have the utilities do it as one shop stopping.
Right.
There's a third party biller that are culminating both Community
Right.
Solar and PSE&G
Absolutely.
on that. So you're not sending two separate checks
Yeah.
out. It'll be just one check.
Exactly, because we've been advocating for that.
Yeah.
Because it is easiest to understand and is a seamless experience.
And most
it's
people
also,
are used to just paying their utility bill.
Right, and it's an access issue for some folks, especially who are only comfortable paying with a physical check instead of online.
Yeah.
And especially for folks who have federal or state utility assistance like LIHEAP.
Yeah, no,
And payment
that
plans.
becomes a little bit more challenging. So, so that's how you're going to be saving months. Is it possible that my bills go up? Well, yeah, if you use more energy, but the savings will still be broken down by how much energy you use.
Correct. You will never pay more than you normally would have with PSE&G. It's guaranteed to be a savings. That's where community solar is different than third-party energy.
Yeah. So there was a lot of confusion a couple of years ago in our town because a group came in from Food and Water Watch and pushed a ballot initiative for renewable energy where they made it mandatory that everybody had to sign up. You had to opt out. So you were in. And what happened is that people saw their rates going through the roof, and that had to do with the market gyration, because once you put benchmarks in the aggregation saying you had to have XYZ renewable and it going up from 30 to 40 to 50%, then the cost of that went exponentially up, and people started seeing their rates rise in combination with the Ukraine, what was going on in Ukraine with the whole global markets going on. And so, essence, what happened was 75% of the ratepayers in Piscataway opted out. Thus, the Board of Public Utilities stepped in and said, well, you got to pause this. You can't have this anymore because, it's more than the tariff rate. This is something totally different than that. This is solely based on your energy bill, but there is a fiber does help the environment because it is generating renewable energy, right
and
there.
locally at that.
But the difference is that there's no benchmarks, so to speak, on how much renewable, but it is coming from renewable energy, where those individuals who qualify to sign up for this program can take advantage of a discount on that. Even when your energy costs you're using potentially more and more energy, you're still going to see a cost savings with the amount of energy you use.
Correct. How the program is set up by the state, it's guaranteed to be a savings. And just to clarify, everyone is eligible, anyone that's a PSE&G customer, but there's just more space available for those that are income qualified.
And going back to what we were talking about before, is that this is the first time that where even if you're an apartment dweller, or a renter or whatever, or somebody living in a non-traditional single-family house, is they were going to be able to take advantage of this program where it hasn't been. Now, how many other towns sites are statewide with your company right now?
We have 54 projects throughout the state in PSE&G, JCP&L, and ACE territories.
So it's basically the three major utility companies in the state of New Jersey that are involved. All right. Well, see, and I'm assuming that there's going to be the Board of Public Utilities is going to open up more space available to have this program take advantage of, because, you know, there's a heck of a lot more folks out there and apartments and things like that that would love, probably, I'm sure, to take advantage of this program, but haven't been able to because it hasn't been there. And I think that's what the beauty of this program is.
Absolutely. We're excited for more projects to come online, and the Board of Public Utilities is likely going to be opening an application this year. So we're excited to be able to serve even more customers.
Well, I would be very, very, very happy to help push that right there, because I think that, you know, as much as, you know, people, you know, because I hear wonderful things that people even have it on their own homes. However, you know, I love to see people who are renting to take advantage
Absolutely.
of that.
I'm a renter myself, and I'm signed up for one of our projects, and I can't emphasize enough that this was the goal of the community solar program, to be able to make it accessible for everyone, and that's especially renters.
Well, I want to thank Jennifer Schneider and your folks at the Solar Landscape for stopping by. And we're going to hear more about this, not just for the current project that's generating enough energy for 300 homes in our town, but my take is I would suspect that the BPU is going to basically add double this project. I would have to, because as it becomes more and more popular.
We're hopeful. We're hopeful for even more project space.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so what we're going to do is, over the course of the next couple of weeks, we're going to make sure it's on our municipal Facebook account and our website, forwarded the contact number to the community solar program through Solar Landscape.
Yes.
And hopefully some residents will be able to take advantage of the opportunity to save some energy money. So
absolutely, and folks can go to solarlandscape.com and enter their Piscataway zip code, and please make sure to include the invite code specific to Piscataway, thanks to support from...
It's P-Way 25.
Yes,
That's
correct, P-Way 25 for 25%.
It doesn't get any easier than that. Everybody knows P-Way. So with that, thank you for stopping by on Piscataway, Jennifer. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
I want to welcome everybody back to the August Eye on Piscataway. And we're fortunate enough to have the Piscataway Superintendent, Dr. Frank Ranelli, here today to talk about the upcoming 2023-2024 school season. The superintendent was gracious enough to stop by last year, talk a little bit about a brief overview of what parents and students can expect in the upcoming school year, even though it's, you know, August, but the weeks come very quickly. Absolutely. And then, you know, Labor Day, and then you're right there at the start of school. So I think Superintendent Ranelli, I think what we're going to do is why don't we talk about what parents can expect who have their kids going to, say, Children's Corner.
Sure.
And that age group, and then we'll work our way up to the high school.
Well, first I want to thank you for this opportunity, number one, and number two, the partnership with the township has been terrific. This is my 5th year as superintendent, and our relationship is fantastic. So in every facet of running the school district, we really appreciate your support and your help.
No, I like to say it's all team effort.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, we're all part of the same team. We all want our kids educated. We all want to
absolutely
have a good quality of life living in Piscataway. So what can parents expect, and who qualifies to have a child, like, say, in a Children's Corner program?
Sure. So we have 3 Children's Corner locations, one at Cabrini, one at Fatima, and then we have a new location over on Old New Brunswick Road and Centennial. And that is this is our 3rd year going into that new building. And it's a fantastic facility. It's wonderful. So our preschool are for our 3 and 4-year-olds, and we have about 575 kids that go there it used to be what is a grant. Now it's built into the state funding that we get. We have to apply for it every year based on the amount of kids. And, you know, parents would register their students and apply for a spot. And there are certain kids who have preferential treatment for that, you know, based on some economic status and things like that. And then we put everybody else into a lottery. And all those people know right now if they're in a spot at Children's Corner. And Children's Corner is wonderful. We have great teachers. Our staffing is wonderful. And, you know, take them through the socialization and the education to where when they flow into our kindergarten, it's seamless. And obviously it's part of our district, so our preschool and elementary schools match up with the curriculum and the way we do things. And it's a really good process for us to have to make sure the kids get to a good start and all the supports they need at a younger age. And the social and emotional aspect of kids who come to our preschool is far and above kids, maybe who can't or don't. So it's a great process.
So there's some folks out there that may say that somebody of my parents' generation goes, why do you have this program? You're just wasting money. When we were raising our kids, we didn't have these programs, and
Sure.
What do they need to go to school that early when they could just wait to go to preschool or whatever?
So there's a couple of facets to that. One, when our parents were raising us, right, it was a different time. Now both parents a lot of times need to work. So this is a nice opportunity for them to be able to bring their kids to a school-like setting, and then be able to go to their work, and then have their students taken care of very well. Number two, I think the earlier we can get a student in a school setting with other children and a structured learning atmosphere, the better. Even when we were growing up, I'm sure that would have helped us if we went to preschool. But now, with the state of education as it is, and how rich it is with all the different facets of the curriculum and the standards, the earlier the better. So I don't think it's at all a waste of money. I think it's really important that we start that foundation as early as we can.
Well, I actually agree with your analysis of that, because one of the big challenges that we have at the trying to bring economic development into the community, one of the first questions that prospective companies that may be moving within our community is about either workforce development and or childcare, whether it's public or private. And that is a big deal for folks that are working in industry, that they need to know where a child is going to be. And that has become more prevalent within the last 10 years than it's ever been in the history right there. So,
and also parents researching areas to live. Right? They'll look at the school systems, they'll look at childcare, they'll look at how early things start, they'll look at the success of the programs, and we realize that, so we want to make sure that we're as much on the cutting edge as we possibly can be.
Yeah, because it's kind of tough out there, because you've got both parents now that are working, jobs, so separated out. And in the old days, like when my mom and dad were there, it was my mom didn't start in the workforce until after the last of us was out the door. And so she was a stay-at-home, I guess, now politically correct, homemaker.
Yeah, worked at home.
But at the end of the day, is that the economics don't allow for that, and it's few and far between. And I think it's really critical that the kids do get that early learning, because in order to compete with a global economy, the faster and brighter that the students get, the better off they're going to be.
And I'd like to thank our Board of Education, and they're elected, they're volunteers, and they work hand in hand with me with the same philosophy that we need to offer the community as much as we can to support the workforce, to support their households, to support their children. So I'd like to thank them and the way they approach their very important position.
Yeah. All right. So we spoke a little bit about Children's Corner. So the next school level,
sure, we'll go K-5.
K-5,
okay.
Right,
even though they're two separate kind of buildings, we'll go K-5. So, as I mentioned to you when we were off air a little bit, I don't know that there's a ton of changes coming. Right, we want to try to get back to, and I really don't like talking about the pandemic because it's behind us, hopefully. But we want to, be able to get back to as much normalcy as we possibly can. Extracurricular activities, after-school activities, solid programs. Our staffing is again on point. We really feel we have great staff members and to take our kids through. But in the K-5 areas, again, we'll go through our curriculum, meeting the standards, our Readers Writers Workshop, our Go Math, and we really feel, again, we're at the cutting edge of where we need to be to get our kids ready for that next step. We understand that every student's path to success is different. Right? We can't really map out something for students to be able to say, okay, you have to do this, 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 and this, especially when kids get to middle school and high school. So we try to offer them as many opportunities to learn as possible. Last year, and we'll get to the high school, I know, but last year one of the board goals was to create more opportunities for non-college bound learners. And we really did a great job of that, and I thank the staff for
You know what, I'm glad you brought that up, because, like when my older siblings were going through, they offered a lot of different, not a college path, so to speak. They did, but they also more trades. You know, I remember the high school had more trades when I was in the 70s and 80s and even in the 60s. And I see now that some of the districts are going back to that model to offer for both college-bound and folks who may be going to building trades.
So as things are cyclical a lot, there's a reason why we went away from that in districts that I've been in as well. The state made it difficult, and not in a bad way, right? But difficult for public school districts to hire and find qualified staff members.
Okay.
So we used to have wood shop, we used to have metal shop, we used to have child care, things like that.
Well, I want to stop right there for a second because I had a lot, because my middle child, BC, and when he graduated, that was the last year that they had wood shop. So he did craft a beautiful cabinet that's in our downstairs bathroom that's still up today. That was really, people go, hey, who made that? I said, well, that was my son, but he also made in wood shop at Piscataway High
so
School.
with the emergence of the vocational schools, which again, the Middlesex magnet schools are great, and Jorge Diaz is doing a great job as a new superintendent there, and we support them tremendously. But with the resurgence of those types of programs and the really emphasis on public school districts to teach the standards, get kids ready for college. For 10, 15 years now, that was college. And then we kind of go back to, look, it's really expensive, right? Not everybody's path is in college. So we want to make sure that we're offering not necessarily the classes, but opportunities for kids to understand there's a different path out there, right? Our high school staff put on a career fair for our juniors and seniors, non-college bound learners, last, I think it was November, called What's Next. And we had 80 different companies come in. I think that's a little high. I think it was a little less than that. But proprietors to talk to kids who maybe might want to go to college, right? FedEx, motorcycle mechanic, many different, truck drivers, things like that. We had a barber, a former graduate who's a very, very successful barber, things like that. So we want to make sure that kids understand that it's not one way and that's the only way. So everybody's path to success is very different.
I want to talking to some of the building trades union members. One of the big problems is there's not a lot of young students coming out that want to go into building trades.
So
that is creating a work shortage, which creates problems economically for the region, because if you don't have people.
So again, our high
trades.
school created relationships with career fairs that are around in Middlesex County, trade schools like Lincoln Tech and things like that. So I think it's really important that we again match our kids up to things that they might be interested in and let them understand there's not just one way. Also, Middlesex College is a great option for some kids. Right, to go get some education at a 2-year college, or soon to be, I think, some 4-year programs there as well. But it's a great opportunity for kids. Again, not just solely pigeonholed into a 4-year college, which is a wonderful option for many of our kids as well.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned like a school like Lincoln Tech. In this day and age, when you go to an auto repair shop, all of it's computer generated, and you have to have some capabilities of computer knowledge to it. It's not like the old days. It was just mostly, hands-on. Now it's computer generated, and that is something now that this age group now can easily handle from just doing computer work or laptops and
more
their phones
innate to them,
at home, that it's applicable. So whereas some of the folks that are in the older brackets, such as me, necessarily have to catch up with those times.
Me too.
Yeah. So, but I think it's good because the district's adapting to, like I say, with market conditions, and it's not for everybody. But however, we'd like to see that that there's some type of career path out there for every student.
Sure, and we kind of skipped over our middle schools, right? So our middle schools kind of have the same kind of philosophy. They're introducing kids to a lot of different things in middle school to get them ready to go to high school. We have our freshman experience coming up at the end of the month here, orientation.
So
for them.
when you just briefly explain what freshman experience is all about.
So at the end of the month, students will I think they're
prior to start
of the year, it's like a freshman orientation. Okay. They'll come to school. I think it's 2 days for half of the alphabet, 2 days for the other, and they'll tour the building, get their locker, I believe, you know, things like that, just to get them not nervous to come that very first day. You know, understand, you know, how big the high school is. Understand where their classes are, what time lunch is, how to go through that process, things like that.
So in other words, they're not deer in headlights on the first day.
Right, walking in the building for the very first time, the first day of school. We don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
We want them to be a little as acclimated as we can have them be in the first couple days of school.
Now, at the high school level, what can the students expect there this year?
Yeah, so we have block scheduling, which we have, you know, actually A-B block. So they have 4 classes on one day, 4 different classes on the next, and then they alternate all year. So they could expect, again, alignment with the standards, a lot of electives and things like that they could take. The continuum of academics, whatever level you may be at. Right, from college prep all the way to AP, advanced placement. So again, we feel very strongly that our curriculum is strong. Our assistant superintendent of curriculum, Dr. Bill Baskerville, does a great job, along with our high school staff, to offer the kids and stay on the cutting edge of what we need and what we don't need. Right, a lot of things we just do because, or districts do because we've always done it, and that might not be the right way to go. So we analyze everything, we look at the data, our staff is top notch. And I think students and parents who enter the high school or who have been in the high school can expect something for everyone. If you want to be involved, there's a place for you to be involved.
So I was fortunate enough to attend the scholarship, the senior scholarship awards ceremony, but I think it was probably close to, if not a record, or close to a record of the dollar amount that was awarded out there.
And each year more and more, our students are earning scholarships and earning their place to colleges, and again, some of those scholarships were for trade schools, and some were for programs that weren't directly
which, by the way,
bound.
was unheard of 25 years
absolutely.
ago.
And that there goes that trend of well, everything was college when we were coming up, and go there, and now people are realizing that we can't get electricians to come to our house, we can't get plumbers to come to our house, and they're very respected jobs and careers. So we better be, you know, understanding society and making our kids understand that as well.
And before we get to the sports component on that, the Rutgers Future Scholars Program, how has that worked out?
It is fantastic.
And you might want to give a background.
Yeah, I'll give a little bit of a background, sure.
I know what it's about,
sure.
But the general public may not.
Yeah, so Rutgers Future Scholars is a program that's run by Rutgers, and they invite districts. They have invited districts for years, and Piscataway is one of those districts. So I think this is our 9th or 10th year in Rutgers.
It's almost a decade.
Yeah, in Rutgers Future Scholars, and it is students identified in lower socioeconomic categories for a student being the first one of their family to go to college, so a first-generation college student. They go through a program in their 7th and 8th grade in middle school to identify the kids and make sure the kids sign up and want to be there and get accepted to the program. And then really the school district is hands-off except for support for Rutgers, what they need. Rutgers will put them through programs throughout all 4 years. And then they'll apply to all 3 Rutgers campuses, and whatever school they get into, whatever the 3 Rutgers campus they get into, if they successfully complete the program, they'll go to Rutgers for free. Yeah. And it's just fantastic. We've had dozens and dozens of students go to Rutgers for free because of the Rutgers Future Scholars, and we really appreciate that partnership as well.
And I'm sure the parents appreciate it too.
Absolutely, and a lot of parents don't understand it. So in the middle schools, we have to we have some nights where they come in and we try to explain and invite the kids and the parents, you know, really get an understanding of what it's all about and what the result could be 5 or 6 years later, right? I mean, it's hard to see a little bit down the road there.
Yeah, and I think that program was started under, you know, the former president, Dr. McCormick, who was a Piscataway High grad himself and resident. So
so it's great.
So let's go to, we talked a little bit about what the parents can expect. How about those parents that may be coming to see their child in sports?
Yeah, so again, just like the extracurricular activities in clubs and theater, music, things like that, which is, we have great programs. Our athletics is a great tradition in Piscataway, and we take pride in that. We have our football team was 6-3 last year. We have a lot of returning, students that played, a lot of returning athletes. So we're looking forward to, a successful season there. We start, I think, before school starts.
Yeah,
we
there's
have August
first
25th.
game
I think the
before
first two
Labor
are,
Day.
I think the first two are before Labor Day.
Wow.
August 25th and
well,
September.
that's starting really early.
Yeah, well, they want to make room for at the end for playoffs and things like
Okay.
that. So August 25th, I think, is our first game, and then we have a second game the Friday of Labor Day weekend.
Okay.
And then our second home game is the 8th, is that Friday
Okay.
afterwards. So we're looking forward to a successful season. Again, 6-3 last year. Boys and girls soccer, we're about 500 last year. We had a lot of returning kids. Our girls volleyball was 17-8 last year. So we're really looking forward to them, doing really well. So I would feel remiss if I didn't mention the success of our winter girls and boys
they had a
spring
fantastic
track.
season.
Yeah, so I really don't like reading off.
No,
of
no,
things,
go ahead.
but I want to make sure
you get it correctly.
I want to make sure that I don't know if I could memorize all this. It's crazy. So our girls winter track. Some highlights. We were second place in the GMC championships. We were North 2 Group 4 state sectional champions, and we were Group 4 state champions. Brooklyn Drakeford won the first place in our GMC championships in the 400-meter run, 55 hurdles, and the 55-meter dash. She also won first place in the 400-meter run for the Group 4 sectional championships, and our 4x4 took first place as well. Our meet champions, Brooklyn Drakeford as well, who's going to the University of Virginia, by the way, won first place in the 400 meters. We have highlights from our spring championships as well. One of our male athletes, Brian Butler, he won first place in the state championship for the high jump, jumping 6'8". So again, we like to celebrate our successes, and not to mention just a few people, but our coaches, their teammates, pushing them. We're really proud of what we do. And again, we'll talk a little about sports, but we had one of our engineering academy projects. They're actually on a NASA spaceship right now. Won a contest, and it's an apparatus that goes on the ship, and it's up at NASA. We've had so many great things. We were on CBS News 4 times for different things.
You like to get the frequent flyer miles on that.
It's fantastic. Yeah, it's great. So we're really proud of what we do. And
then you have the robotic club.
Yeah, we have the robotics club. We have just things that something for everybody. And our music, our arts, and our theater are fantastic.
Okay. So very quickly before we close out, the theater club, how is that? They're going to have a couple.
Yeah. So in the fall they have a drama production, and in the spring they usually have a music production. I don't know what they are right now, but you can look on our website, and as soon as they're populated, they'll be up there. And they're wonderful. And our music
normally the jazz ensemble.
Yeah, jazz ensemble. We have orchestra. We have our band, our marching band. We encourage as many kids to go out for marching band as we can, and we have just great instructors who make music and art really fantastic in Piscataway. I think it was our 6th year in a row we were voted one of the best communities for arts education here.
Okay. Well, I want to thank the superintendent of schools here in Piscataway Township, Dr. Ranelli, for stopping by to talk about the upcoming 2023-2024 academic year here in Piscataway. And basically, he just gave us an overview of what parents can expect from Children's Corner all the way up to the high school and all the grades in between. And we look forward to having a successful year for you and the staff there. And good luck. And we wish all the students the best of the coming year, because I know the last couple of years, doing with some of the COVID restrictions, it wasn't easy for both the students and the professional staff there, not just in Piscataway, but nationwide.
Yeah, nationwide.
So with that, thank you for stopping by.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay. Well, I want to welcome you back to our next segment of the August Eye on Piscataway. We're fortunate enough to have the Supervisor of Engineering, Joe Herrera, to stop by. He looks really thrilled to be here. He'd much rather be out in the field making sure a lot of these roads are being constructed correctly. Yeah. But I thought we would take a quick overview of what's going on. A lot of people could see a lot of construction of renovations of the roads, the township traffic road system here in our community. So, Joe, maybe what we'll do is we'll touch base on certain sections of towns where you have projects that were just recently completed and/or under construction. So, I think what we'll do is we'll start in the Wynwood Possumtown area of Piscataway. We do have some video footage to roll with that. So, Joe, go take it away.
Possumtown, that was 3rd Avenue, 2nd Avenue.
Yeah.
Those projects we just completed. 3rd Avenue was just completely paved on July 24th, I believe. We did the final topping on that.
And that was a monumental project out there.
Yes, and that was my 2023 local aid project.
And for what that means for the lay people out there, the local aid means we apply for a state DOT grant, which is money set aside every year for the towns to submit an application to get part of the gas tax money to rebuild local roads.
Right.
So go ahead, Joe.
So that project in itself, included like a lot of drainage improvements, adding up this big water quality devices to treat the water going on into the stream. We did curbs, sidewalks on both sides of the street, and then a full reconstruction of the road.
And there was a new stormwater detention system placed in the roadway, actually.
The underground, there are underground treatment devices that are very, very costly, and, but it treats the water, it retains 80% of the soils, and then it just lets cleaner water go out into the streams.
Yeah, I know a lot of the residents on 3rd Avenue were aggravated during the construction. I don't blame them, but a lot of it we were at the mercy of the utility companies. And this is a shot of 2nd Avenue, the lower half of 2nd Avenue.
Yes. This 2nd Avenue was also, we just widened it up, did curbs on both sides, and then a full reconstruction that was done by Jazz Construction.
Yeah.
And
I want to give a shout out to my former grade school basketball coach, Mr. Turf, who's out there, who was hounding me for 15 years about this road.
Yeah,
I told him before he really officially retires that we were going to get the road done. Yeah. So Bakeland Avenue, what do you got?
Okay, Bakeland Avenue, that was a big project that it was taken under construction by Lucas Brothers, and it didn't include improvements from the culvert, like I mentioned before, near Possumtown, all the way down to the Best Buy's warehouse facility. It was, again,
this was arguably the worst road in Piscataway Township and in Middlesex Borough.
Yeah, it was.
So one side of the street is Middlesex Borough, the other side is Piscataway Township.
Yes.
The side that's Piscataway has sidewalks on it.
Correct, yeah. The only section is Piscataway got the sidewalks, right, curbs, and Middlesex just has the curbs on their side. And the road was winding up to like 36 feet because there's a lot of, obviously, truck traffic through there.
One of the things I would like to talk about is that the Bakeland Avenue project, we did not have to bond for it. That money was paid for by the Rockefeller Group.
Yes.
When they developed the old Dow Chemical site. So they gave us money towards fixing Bakeland Avenue, which was like $4.5 million.
Yes.
That we didn't have to bond out for right there, which is good because it took care of the worst section of the roadway on Bakeland Avenue, and then the balance, if anybody ever goes in that area, the balance is Middlesex Borough going out to River Road.
Yep.
So, all right, we're going to step back, and now we're going to continue along here. Now, this is over in the Justice Street, Ethel Road area.
Yes.
You want to talk about this area, Joe?
Okay, so there's two projects were done almost simultaneously.
Yeah.
Ethel Road and Justice Street. Ethel Road was being done by K&M. I believe this is the section of Ethel Road that it was being prepped up for paving. They're doing a milling. We also installed a multi-use path.
Which, by the way, was a little controversial out there with the Timothy Christian folks.
Yes.
They didn't want anything to be built out there. But you know what? Now that that's been finished, and everybody in that neighborhood's using it.
It's using it. Yes, we noticed that even the first day when it was being paved, people were trying to use it.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is now you see parents out there teaching their kids on tricycles how to ride their bikes on it. So.
Yes, yeah, it's wide enough where you can do that, right?
So this is now International and Justice out here. So Justice Street was completed.
Justice
This is
was
Justice
just
Street.
completed, yeah.
Well, this is part of International here.
Yeah, this is International. Right now it's under construction. So
Now, what's happening here right now?
right now it's the gas companies out there. They install a new gas line, and the water company went over there and they lowered their water mains, so they won't be in conflict with the storm.
Which, by the
system
way,
that was
the utility, both the gas and the water, actually have new lines out there, and so they should have better service. Maybe we just hold that shot for a second. Yeah. We'll have better gas pressure out there, and better pressure for the water.
Well, the gas is all new. The water, lowered it. They maintained the lines.
I think they were putting in all new water meters too, if I remember.
There are put in new. Typically, that's what
at
they
the street.
do.
Yeah.
They do instead of having your regular water shut off.
Yeah.
They put a meter valve, so I guess they can do the readings and everything.
Well, what it is now, they have a car that goes
So
by and just reads it without having to get out of the vehicle.
Yes. So that's that was International Avenue, and
Now we're not expecting that to finish up this year. That's probably going to spill over into 2024. Right?
correct. We're still dealing with the utilities. Like I said, the gas companies out there. They're trying to do some of the service relocations between Brotherhood and Justice, so the contractor can get in there and start doing some of the storm sources work.
So this will be Brotherhood, when it's completed, will be the last of the major North Stelton streets to be reconstructed and actually to truly receive a standard township street.
Yes.
Because these are all going back to the old country road streets.
Right. So we'll have the whole section there, International, Justice, Brotherhood, Ethel.
Yeah.
They'll all be.
This is everything towards the Edison border over there.
Yes.
Now, while we're on the subject really quickly, we're starting the reconstruction. We don't have video footage of Ethel Road West. You might want to talk quickly about what's going to transpire out there.
So Ethel Road West, it's what we're basically doing. It's another local aid job. So we got some money from the state, and what it entails, it's doing replacing some of the curbs that are damaged, doing sidewalks along the properties that the township owns, and any educational properties over there. And we're going to be doing milling and some full reconstruction in some areas, and then just topping it.
And that's good. And I remember when I was on the council, that was a local aid job going back 20 plus years ago. So what comes full circle now.
Yeah.
So.
And also, I think we're reinstalling the bike lanes. They were very faded.
Very faded street, and
So
that'll
now
tie
it's
into the bike lanes onto the county road network.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's go to some more video footage over in the Arbor section near Plainfield border. Now, this was a series over a couple of years that this work was taking place, right, Joe?
Yes. So the first phase in this was the Leslie Avenue improvements, and that was basically Leslie Avenue, Ann Street, and Mabel. And they were with the sidewalks, curbs, and we redid the road. We finished up in some storm drainage improvements, finished that up. Now we did the Leslie Phase 2, which is pretty much the remainder of the northern part of Ann Street and Mabel, and connecting into a paper street.
Which we put the blocks for.
Which we're going to connect into the neighboring town. The construction started about 3 weeks ago. Yeah. And it's all, it's to the point that they're going to be going in there within a week or so to do milling and paving.
Now that's another area of the town where they never had a true street. It was an old country road on the Plainfield border. You wouldn't know it, but the people that were there. So that'll take care of that side. Anything around the Mervyn Alexander Park area will now have been reconstructed.
Right. And right behind that, we also have right now the contractors doing the curb project for Anderson and Wall Street.
Yeah, and we're going to hold off to actually reconstructing the street to see about maybe getting some water lines through there.
Correct. Yes.
So that's good. All right, so we got some other video footage here over there off of Sutton's Lane. This is Dell right here. This is the entrance to where Carriage Drive is. This was a project where you're contract out of your department to fix the curbs.
Fix curbs and sidewalks. So we did Carriage and Dell, and then we'll go out there and do whatever repairs we need to the curbs, the sidewalks, and then DPW comes behind us. They mill the road and resurface them.
Yeah, and they resurfaced it. They completed it about a week and change ago. It came out looking really nice. Yeah. Now, that was the original roadway bed when that development was built 30 plus years ago. We have another one out here on North Randolph-Ville Road. It's the next phase of North Randolph-Ville Road. That was between Millbrook, I believe, and up to Girard Street. So one of the things, we did have the contractor mill it, and I think it's on hold to pave it. DPW is going to pave that. We just awarded a contract to put new handicap ramps in. So as soon as they're done before school, we plan on having that paved and striped for bike lanes, also to continue the bike lane route. And then this is on Mountain Avenue over in the Irishtown section. Right here, this is another section, Joe. Actually, this is footage that was just taken today out there. So, Joe, you might want to talk a little bit about it.
So yeah, Mountain Avenue, those are projects of our 2023 road program.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is to working with engineering, but Public Works is going to be paving the road.
Yeah. So we went back, we had our contractor go out to Mountain Avenue and do repairs of sidewalks and curbs, handicap ramps, and got it ready for DPW to mill and pave.
Yeah.
And
now, DPW already paved the upper half of Girard Street. So now this is another street that we want to have completed before school goes back into session. So we're trying to rush to get all these projects done before school goes back into session. In the interim, we're looking at doing the North Old New Brunswick Road Bridge over the Conrail tracks, so to resurface that, and then partial fixing of the roadway on North Rand by the apartments there to get back before school starts. So those are some of the road projects that are ongoing here in Piscataway, and we still have a boatload that at least 10 to 15 streets that we're still waiting for the utility companies to move poles. So the contractor can finish the curbing and things like that. So we're always at the mercy of the utility companies.
We always are.
Just like ratepayers think they're at the mercy of the utility companies, so is the township. We're no different.
Yep, we're not different, and it's the same thing. We just got to wait till they come in town and start moving.
Yeah, but there is some coordination. We try to give them advance notice that, hey, these are the streets we think we're going to be in.
We do. We inform them at the beginning of the year. We'll send them a list of all the roads that we are going to be, being going for construction during the year, and it's just a matter of coordinating with them when the project really starts.
Yeah. So with that, Joe, I wanted to thank you and your staff for really keeping an eye on this. I know sometimes the residents don't like when the construction is going on, but when the final product comes out, I very rarely are the council members hear any complaints about it. Because by and large, they have a brand new either walkways or curbing in front of their house, and it looks really nice for curb appeal and for safety reasons. So with that, thanks for stopping by on Piscataway.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for stopping by the August I Am Piscataway. I hope you enjoyed the various segments on this show, and we're going to leave you with some clips from the 2023 National Night Out that was held over at the Piscataway Community Center. With that, and we'll see you in September. Good evening, Piscataway! Come on, good evening, Piscataway! Welcome to the 2023 National Night Out. Let's give a round of applause to the men and women in blue. Come on, let's hear it up. That's why we're out here. We're out here for you to get to know the men and women in blue and all the other volunteers, and more importantly, your neighbors.
Us women and men in blue, we are here, we are your friends. But we want to make sure you know that we are your friends and your neighbors are your friends. So what the mayor says, get to know them, get to know them. And to our young people out there, please please, please pay attention to our law enforcement officers. Make sure they are your friends too, and you become their friends. I wish everybody a safe summer and continue doing what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out to National Night Out. National Night Out's been around for about 39 years, maybe not 39 years here, but we hope to continue the tradition and continue to build our police and community partnerships. So enjoy this beautiful evening, get some food, come see what we have over here for our first responders, and just enjoy this wonderful summer night. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
So, the whole point of this is for you to get to know your neighbors, your officials, our police department, and look at the setting. Just look around you. You have this gorgeous senior citizen center. Over here you have Sterling Village, gorgeous senior citizen housing. Look at our recreation community center over here. If you don't belong, you're missing out on the biggest bargain in Piscataway Township. We are constantly named one of the best towns in America in which to live, and you know why? One of the reasons is we have the best police force in the state of New Jersey and maybe in the United States of America. Let's hear it for the men and women in blue. Enjoy yourself. Have a great rest of the summer.
This is Team Piscataway, and enjoy the night. And I want to just thank the good Lord for giving us this beautiful night out. Low humidity, slight breeze, and great sunshine out there. So please enjoy the camaraderie out there with your fellow citizens. And so I think we're going to play what? Ranelli Williams, Happy Happy? Well, let's go. Let's start dancing again.